Greetings, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am your host, Yah-Tay Keaton, also known as Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist, your new barber instructor, barber educator. And today we are doing number 6 of our Think Like a Barber series, Foundation, Focus, and Execution. So this is video number 6 of 10. It's actually a special one because technically we would have had 9, but our good friend LaDosha had a question in the last episode and asked if we could do, or if I could do a live on clippers and guards. So this is that request, understanding clippers and guards. Basics barbers should know. What the title that I have is Understanding Clippers and Guards, the basics every beginner and client. And I included client because I talk with my clients in terms of what's going on, what they should expect, how the cut should turn out. So in the event that they need to go somewhere else, can't get in and our schedules don't match, whatever the reason may be, or need an emergency cut and I can't get them on the books, then they have the information, the knowledge, and the wherewithal to know how their cut is going to come out. More specifically, I do this as well with my youth. I want to ensure that they understand how the tools work, what they do, how the cut is going to turn out. So it also gives them the voice to speak up, especially if sometimes you might not know something isn't right from a knowledge standpoint, but you feel it, that gut feeling. So I share that information with my youth as well. Let me get this camera right because I'm trying to get in the frame for our Instagram. So hopefully it don't look like I'm off centered for Instagram, but nonetheless, welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining. If you're tuning in for the very first time, thank you for joining Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. This podcast it's a little over a year. I've partnered with some other fabulous industry professionals. My barber, Brandy, and we do the Fade and Flow. I was going to say it, Flow. The Fade and Flow show every first Sunday. And also Regina Miller of VMP Miller Salons. We are starting a new series where this will be our 3rd one coming Friday. We do it every last Friday of the month. Where we do salon and bar. It's entitled Salon and Barber Industry Talk. So this week, y'all tune in because we got a hot topic for real. We got a hot topic, but I'll tell y'all about that towards the end. Anywho, today we are talking about understanding clipper guards. And I put on here Barber Basics Explained. However, it's basics for every beginner and the client and what they should know about the clippers. So y'all, I pulled out a little bit of everything. So I got some stuff here that I'm going to share with you all in terms of the tools of the trade. But let's jump into this. Welcome to my replay viewers. If you're catching this on the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to replay this particular episode. Like I mentioned previously, this is the one episode of many that I've done, but this is yet another episode in a series entitled Think Like a Barber. This is where skill meets structure and structure builds professional. So this is part of the Think Like a Barber series. So have you ever watched, for those of you who are y'all are spectators and y'all watch your barbers, have you ever watched a barber just clicking and, flicking on different guards and, putting on different guards on their clippers? Have you ever seen them switch clippers several times, switch guards up, and wonder Why are they using so many different tools? Why are they using so many different guards? Today's episode is for beginner barbers, barber students, and parents who cut their children's hair at home, and anyone who's simply curious about how haircuts come together. In the end, y'all want to know how those haircuts come together. So prayerfully by the end of this episode, you'll understand what clippers do, what guards are for, and why choosing the right tools make all the difference. Now, I'm going to say this. I use the majority of my products are Andes. And I've said this, if you've caught some of the other episodes, I was trained on Andes masters and their T-liners. So I guess it's just like second nature for me. The other reason why, let me get this title up. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get this title up. Another reason why I use Andes is because I've found that whenever I have a problem with their product, whether it's in warranty or out of warranty, all I do is call customer service. They send me, it's similar to an invoice, but I put in all the information in reference to what is wrong with the item. And I ship it to them, put it in a box. They give me a fee. If it's in warranty, they cover it. If it's not, they quote me a fee. I take care of it. They fix it and send it back to me. So I bring that up because a good portion of the items that I use are Andes. I do have some cocoa and I do have some wall. And yeah, so we're going to get going with this subject. So let's jump in. Tonight, I have about 5 points that I want to cover, and then we're going to call it a night. But before I jump in, so if you've missed the previous episodes, the first one was within this series was episode number 69. If you haven't seen that, it's the consultation is the cut before the cut. Check that out. Then episode number 70 is see it before you cut it. It's already in a playlist. So if you're looking to check out all of these episodes, this series of Think Like a Barber, it's on a playlist. So you don't have to worry about searching for it. But I'm just giving it to you in this particular episode so that you at least know what we've had thus far. So episode number 71 was sectioning is strategy, control the hair, control the cut. Episode number 72 was guard work and length control. Stop guessing with the clippers. Know what you're removing. That was the subtitle. And then I had some episodes in between that because I end up going to Premiere Orlando. You can catch episode 73, 74, and 75 on that day 1, day 2, and then my big unboxing. For those of you who don't know, I won a huge box of products valued at $500. Check out that episode. I think it's number 75. Check that out, and you'll see what was in that box. And then episode number 81, we did that week before last, and it was blending isn't magic, it's method. Trust the process. And tonight, thanks to LaDosha, we are talking about understanding clippers and guards and its basics. Every beginner, and like I said, I put client in there, or customers, or just anybody who's interested in knowing why the barbers use all these tools, switch up with all these guards. What is all of that for? So I won't go into depth about it. However, I'll give you some basic fundamental knowledge to understand it. And my best friend, ChatGPT, created some images. So I will be showing you images along with these items that I have. I got a bunch of them around here, so we're going to talk about them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first point that I want to share with you all in reference to understanding clippers. And clippers, if you think of them, I know artists will get this, especially if you paint, but clippers are like different paint brushes. So if you're a makeup artist or you're an artist that actually draws, you know there are different paint brushes to achieve different things, whether it's on the canvas or it's on someone's face. But nonetheless, clippers are like paint brushes. Let me pull that up real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's get that first one up. So as I mentioned, clippers are like paintbrushes. Hold on. I got to get mine right. Okay. Clippers are like paintbrushes. You got a different paintbrush for different things. So I have different clippers here that I use for different things to achieve different things. All right. So I'm going to pull these over. I'm going to show y'all something else that I invested in as well. But with that, a painter doesn't use just one brush for every detail. Barbers don't use one clipper or a set of clippers or trimmers for every haircut. Some clippers are made for removing lots of hair quickly. And I'm going to show you that. When I want to use hair, when I want to remove hair and remove it quickly, I use my detachables. I want to say this. I also use my detachables like for even all over cuts, like Caesar's, Caesar haircut. I want to say Caesar haircuts. I use them. And with detachable blades, whereas a clipper, you attach guards on them, and I'll talk more about it as we go along. You actually use detachable blades. So you have different blades that you stick on. I gotta tell y'all this too. Let me turn this off. So it's always story time with me. So when I was first learning to use detachables, my mentor, Mr. Ronnie, if y'all know Mr. Ronnie, y'all seen him in episode 79. Hey, WK, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. Tonight, we're talking about understanding clippers and guards. This is something that LaDosha asked about, and I figured I'd just go ahead and throw it into this Think Like a Barber series. So that's what we're working on tonight. So back to my story that I was sharing. When I was prepping for state board, Mr. Ronnie pulled out some detachables, and I had the old Osters 76, really heavy, y'all, very heavy. I felt like I was lifting weights. But anyway, those were the first ones that I actually learned on. And in all honesty, I was scared to, use them and take the blades off. So, but Mr. Ronnie showed me how to do it, showed me how to grab it, and I became comfortable with it. But again, when I use detachable blades, it's mainly to remove lots of hair very quickly, or I'm doing an even all over cut. Oftentimes I'm working with a young child when I do it. However, I shouldn't say people, barbers do fade with these here. So my arsenal that I have right here, I'm going to lift it up so y'all can see it. My arsenal that I have right here, I have a 5/0, which is 5 zeros. It cuts smaller than the 3/0, which is equal to a trimmer. 4/0 cuts a little closer. This cuts a little closer. If you can just imagine using trimmers to ball somebody out, and then you got a 4/0 and then you got a 5/0. So that's what this is. So I have that one, 5/0, 4/0. I also have a OA, 1, 1A, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and then I have a 2 and a 3 1/2, and then I have a 3 1/4 and a 18 skip blade. But nonetheless, clippers. Some clippers are made for removing lots of hair. So like I said, I mainly, use my detachables for that. And y'all remember I said before I got these here clippers that Andy's just came out with, the Zephyrs, I used to use these for my children who had autism, special needs, or neurodivergent. I would use these on my children because you see here, you can take and turn the motor down, which means it operates a little slower. And you notice that it doesn't make as much noise. So these were my go-to before the invention of these. Anywho, this is what I remove bulk with. All right. So here again, clippers are made, they're creating fades. There are many clippers out there. Like I said, I have Andes, and I have a pair of Cocos, and I do have a travel pair of Walls. It's the barber combo, but I have the Andes Masters here with the fade blade on it. The Zephyrs, might be pronouncing it wrong, and then the Cocos. I still have those as well. And I actually invested in these because this gentleman at the time had created the digital gap. So I want to try them out. So I've had these since their inception being put on the market. And I also have their trimmer. Like I say, I've had these for some time, but this used to be my travel kit that I would take. It's the Barber Combo by Wall. So I would use these in my travel bag. And of course, they have the Hero. So I know y'all like, well, what you got all them for? It's an investment. It's an investment. But as I mentioned, clippers are made to remove lots of hair quickly, create fade, soft blending, and detail work around the edges, around the perimeter of the head. Oftentimes, that detail work is done with, I'm going to show you all the trimmers that I have. I have the Coco trimmers, the digital gap blade on it. I have the Andes GXO, and then I also have my Slimline Pro. Why do you have so many trimmers? Well, this came with the Coco set that I shared with you all. These I've had for a couple years. Had a few problems with them, but I sent them back. They fixed them. So the reason why I have 3, I call these my baby trimmers. I use these on my kids. I'm not trying to get the crispiest, sharpest line with my children. It's about, as these clippers say here, creating trust, not trauma. So with my children, especially if it's their first time getting their haircut, or mainly first time getting their haircut, or they've only been serviced a handful of times, and their temperament, or they're not ready for the sharper clippers. I got to share this with you all. I had a new client. Son is neurodivergent, and they showed me a picture of their son who'd had his hair cut by another barber. They found out through me by word of mouth. Long story short, when I looked at the picture, having observed the child in my presence and having done a service on him, I knew in some way, shape, or form that the child had been held down to get the look that they wanted. In saying that, I use these because I don't want to cause trauma for a child. I don't want any of my clients or customers who come to me periodically, when they parents, guardian, or whomever bring them, say that, hey, Sandra, thank you for joining. Say that we're going to see Yah-Tay to get your haircut. I don't want them to feel anxious. I don't want them to feel nervous. I want them to be excited about coming to see me. Thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, if I can't get a shape up, I'm not going to force the issue. I'm not going to push the issue. All right. We remove the hair, we clean up what we can. Because for me, it's about building trust. We might not be able to get it this time. It might be a couple times down the line before we can actually get a full-on shape up with a child. But my process is I start with these, the Slimline Pro. Then I go to my GTO. I'll go to my Andy's T-liners, and if they're able to handle my digital gap, then I'll use these. They run neck and neck, but I think these here are a little bit sharper. But nonetheless, that's the process of me giving shape ups, line ups, edge ups, whatever you want to call it, when it comes down to my children. So these are the babies. These are next in line. We're going to say the middle schoolers. These are school age, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and college. But nonetheless, those are the different clippers and trimmers that I use. I shared with you all my travel one. I have a case for it as well. So what I want to share with you as it relates to clippers before I talk about the takeaway. Now they all they do different jobs and you get different results. When you're using trimmers, you're shaping up, you're putting the final touches on, you may be balding as the first guideline for the particular cut that's in question. For our clippers, like I said, I use my detachables. And yes, you have to pay for the blades separately. They can run anywhere from $25 and up, depending on the blade. But these come on and off. They have different measurements. Like I mentioned, some use it to remove bulk. Some barbers actually do fade with them. I can do both. However, I tend to use them to remove a lot of hair. In terms of our clippers, and you notice the difference with clippers and trimmers. All right. So these are some clippers that I have here. On your clippers, you have a lever. You open and close. We're going to get into this the next one and talking about having them open or close. Open leaves more hair, close leaves less hair. And then when you put on the guards, I'll talk about them next. When you put the guards on, you're also getting different lengths as well. I talk about the numbers on them, tell you what hair is being left behind when you attach a guard to this. All right. And I do like to keep my covers on my clippers because it protects the blade. What was I going to say? The clipper is the tool and the barber is the artist. So the clipper assists the barber with creating the cut. All right. Can't have one without the other. Okay. So that's number one. Clippers are like different paint brushes. You basically have a clipper or a trimmer to help you either remove hair quickly, create fades, help you with blending, and detail work around the edges. In a nutshell, that's what those tools are used for. And I also want to share with you, we have shavers. I have a single one. These are by Wall. I have a single one, and I'm going to tell you why I have Wall. I had Andes. However, I invested in this power bar through a Tombstone because I got tired of having all of these all over my station. So each clipper often comes with his own, I want to say, dock holder. So what I did is invested in this here. Let me remove this out the way real quick. I invested in this bar. You can put the power cord on each end. Where my outlet is, mine goes on the left-hand side. So it's plugged in from this side. It's charged in on either side. And with this, the reason why I had to get Wall is because Tombstone doesn't have a power pod for Andes shaver. So I end up getting one of those. This is for the Slimline Pro, fits in. This is for the Coco, and the only thing that I don't like about this one is it doesn't fit snug. It has too much play in it. It does charge, however, it doesn't fit snug. You'll notice with the other ones. This is for the Andes T-liners. This is for the Coco clippers. Uh-oh. Let me make sure that's closed properly. And then this other one is for Andes Masters. So what happens with this, I'm able to charge, use it, put it back on the docking station so that it stays charged. So I don't have to worry about plugging it up, sitting it on the, attaching the cord to it. This is the complete power pod with the various clippers that I use. And there are other ones that they have. You can create your own bar with this. No, I'm not getting paid. I'm just telling y'all what I have, what I've invested in, so that I can maximize not only my space, but keep my tools charged. So the only thing, I'm going to put this right here. So the only thing that is not in this set yet, which I'm hoping that they'll eventually have them for all clippers, which would be a great investment, is this one. And this is for my detachables. So it has its own unit. I do have to plug it in. But for the most part, that one, and oh, the new Andes Zephyrs, I think that's how you pronounce it, Zephyrs, isn't included in that. So these are the only two that I have that are separate. So let's get into the second point. What is a guard? A guard is a plastic or metal attachment that snaps onto the clipper. Its job is simple. It controls how much hair is cut. Okay, let me get up this second image. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the second image. So let's talk about the guards. And I'm going to share with you some different guards that I have, because I'm going to say most clippers come with their own guards. Some you buy the clippers and then you buy the guards separately. Like, take for instance, when I reinvested in some more Andy's clippers, these didn't come with they didn't come with they didn't come with guards. I already had guards, and when I was purchasing them, I asked if it's single or double magnetic, because Andy's have two guard lines. They might not sell the single one anymore. I have the single. I've seen the double magnetic ones, but I'll show you those in just a second. So with the guards, what do guards do? The bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. So typically in a set of guards, you have from a 0.5 all the way up to a number 8. Okay, and I'll show you what that guard looks like and how much it leaves on the head. So once again, the bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. The smaller the guard, the shorter the haircut becomes. So think of it like placing a spacer in between the blade and the scalp. Hey, WK, let me see what you got. You said, do you have to purchase these items or clippers during school, or does school provide them as part of the tuition? So to answer your question, I did. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that picture real quick. When I went to school, I did get, where is it? Where is it? Let me find it really quick. Oh. To answer your question, when I went to school, I did get my clippers as part of my kit. Or, well, let me say this. We got a kit that we had to pay for separately from the tuition, but the overall cost, it was included in the overall cost. However, there was a separate fee for my clippers. I'm sorry, my tools and implements. So I'm trying to, because I do have a picture of that. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Give me a quick second. And this is, I know I have it because it's in my book. It's part of my book. Yeah, here we go. I found it, y'all. So this is some of the tools that I got. Those were all the tools I got. So my first few days of school, this was my kit. And as you can see, I got all Andy's products in terms of my clippers and trimmers. So to answer your question, most schools, you have to pay for the kit, and it's included in the tuition. Some separated so you can see how much it actually costs and what you're getting, but it is, you do pay for it. You do pay for it. So let's get back to the clipper guards. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. I'm working it. I'm working it. So once again, the job of guards is simple. The bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. The smaller the guard, the shorter the haircut becomes. And remember I said that there, uh-oh, hold on, y'all. About to lose some stuff over here. you got from a 0.5 all the way up to an 8. So let me move these out the way real quick so I can have some room up here. Now, once again, your detachables don't have guards. They're blades. So for my walls, the corded walls that I showed y'all that I use here, these fit these here. So you got a half that leaves about a 1/16 of an inch of hair on. You got a 1 that's an 1/8. You have a 1.5 inch that's 3/16. And just visualize reading a tape measure or a ruler. So when you think about the size of the guards, that's how much hair is being taken off. So I'll give an example. So when I worked for the franchise, Great Clips, most of my straight hair clients would say, I want a 2 and 3 on the side, scissors on top. We call it shears because scissors you cut paper with, shears you cut hair with. And believe me, shears are much sharper than scissors. But nonetheless, the clients know them by their numbers. Barbers know them by numbers, but we know what is being taken off based on that number. So this would be considered a half or a 0.5. Then you have a 1, which is, like I said, 1/8. Then you have a 1.5, which is 3/16 that come off. You have a 2, which leaves more. So the bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. And I'm also going to talk to you about those levers and using the guards. So you get even more increments in terms of the fraction of what's coming off or being left on by maneuvering the lever on the side of the clippers as well. Remember I said open, close. Open leaves more hair, close leaves less hair. Okay? So guards. Oh, this is a wall. I can't put this on now. Hold on, y'all. Let me get the right. Let me get the right guard. So this is a magnetic guard here. You notice this is a clip-on. And I tell you about those two. So the clip-on, this is the magnetic. This fits the wall. I'm sorry, the Andes. Open leaves more. As you close, there are little notches on the side. It take a little bit more and a little bit more off. I don't know if y'all can see that. You see those notches? Some clippers have them, some don't. You can feel it. Some make a clicking sound. So you know. Hold on, y'all. Some make a clicking sound. So you know where you at. Same with these here. Open, close. Open, less hair is removed. Close, more hair is removed. All right. Let me get back to this point. So we have your 2. I'm going to go through and let you know, you all know how much is left behind. And like I say, the bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. So I finished with a 2. 2 is 1 1/4. A 3 leaves behind 3/8. And again, I'm working with the wall. I'm showing you the wall. Most of them are pretty much the same across the board. This is a 1/2 inch. This is a number 4. A number 5 is 5/8. Wall has theirs in different colors. A number 6 is a 3 1/4. A number 7 is 7/8. And then a number 8 is a whole 1 inch that's left behind. All right, so you have your walls, which go with my corded, hold on, y'all. Go with my corded clippers. And I actually, like I said, I bought these as my travel. But now sometimes, like when I had a mobile, I guess you say a house call for my friend's mother last week. If y'all follow my stories, you know about this. I actually took my cordless. I took these two here, my Andes and my T-liners. I took them and I placed them in this bag. And I always keep a towel, y'all. You see how thin these are made? So they can easily get bumped around. So when I place my trimmers in here, I lock my trimmers and clippers in here, I lock them in, and then I take a towel and put on top to provide a buffer. And of course, I have my cover on them as well to protect the blade. So, yeah. But these are the ones that go with the Andes. They're magnetic. The only thing that I dislike about the magnetic blade is over time, the magnet doesn't stay adhered in there. So it comes out like my half, it comes out. It has a tendency to come out and get stuck on here. So you know what I do? Because the blades are still pretty good, as you can see, it's still in pretty good shape because I keep up with them. I just put a drop of Gorilla Glue on it, or what is that, E6000? Put a few drops in there, stick it on, I'm good. But these are for Andes. So you have, I'm gonna show you so you know the difference. These clip on, these are magnetic. They still clip on, but they adhere a lot more, better to me. Then you have your premium guards. These are used for my cocoa. And you notice this little notch back here, they latch on like that. Let me get the Andes back so y'all can see how that latches on. There's a little groove back here. However, that magnet sits right between here and it snaps. You see that? I keep mine in a case to house all of them. And you see this extra one back here, because this is a 0, it comes with it. This takes off 1/16. So I put it back here because normally these trays are labeled half, 1, 1.5, 2, all the way down to 8. And you basically just fit the guard in according to the number. So that's a 3, goes in the 3 slot. 4 goes in the 4 slot. And Andes, with their new Zephyrs, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, their guards are more like premium guards. See here? They clip on. They don't have the magnet. Even though they're made by the same company, they don't have the magnet. and it secures in the back. All right. So those are your guards. And once again, the bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. The smaller the guard, the shorter the haircut becomes. So once again, you think of it like a spacer. And say you got a 6 on and you want to leave about 3/4, 3/16 of an inch on here. You can still dictate by maneuvering this lever how much comes off as well. If it's open, you're going to get the fullness of it. As you close, more is coming off. More is coming off the head. Close, open. And I'm going to show this to you up close. This is very basic information to know. So you see this here? And I'm going to show you the blade. This is the steel blade. This is the moving blade. I'm going to turn it on an angle so you can potentially see it. All right. That's open. I'm going to slide it up. You can see that blade closing, right? See the difference? That's closed. This is open. Let me do this. Put it behind a white piece of paper so you can see it. Because I got on a black shirt, y'all. Can you see that now? That's open. This closed. See that blade? That's closed. Remember, the bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. The smaller the guard, the less hair is left behind. If it's open, it's leaving more hair on. If it's closed, the more you close it, the more hair is being taken off in conjunction with having the guard on. Okay? So that's dealing with the guards. What is a guard? Once again, a guard is a plastic or metal attachment that snaps on to the clippers. So now when you see that barber taking and taking off one, doing his job, taking that off, going to the next, they're either walking it down or walking it up and fading. Going to the next, going to the next. This is what they're doing. And opening and closing and blending. Fading, blending, shaping. So I also want to share with you all that there are guards that come with the trimmers as well. So all of my trimmers have guards with them except for, my Slimline Pro. They didn't. No, actually they did. Let me stop. So these came with 4. Let me show them to you. And the sizes are 1/16, 1/8, 3/8, and 1/4. So we even have guards for the trimmers as well. Some barbers use them, some barbers don't. It just depends on the job and what they want to accomplish. My Slimline Pro, same thing. Same measurement as well. Whereas you have the lever on the side for the clippers, with these, you only have 4 increments that you can work with in terms of taking off bulk or trimming the beard, hair, whatever they're doing with it. Oftentimes, these are used for fine-tuning shape up. Some use them with the beard trimming. But nonetheless, it's 1/16, 1/4, 1/8, and 3/8. So these snap on as well. You have the same adjustment under the bottom, if you can see that. That little groove back there, that's where this notch is snapped on. There you have it. And the Andy's Slimline Pro and T-liners have 4, whereas my Coco and Wall only give you 3. And I'll show you those real quick. So these are the Wall guards for the trimmers, and these are the Coco guards for the Coco trimmers. And their sizes are 1/2, 1, 1.5. Same thing. You notice it fit a little different. Same thing. And then for the Wall, I'm going to show you that just to be consistent with it. These are the Legends. Hero, I'm sorry, Hero. And these fit on here. So the difference between the trimmer and the clippers, trimmers don't have levers, clippers do. Trimmers come with guards. Some of them do, some don't. These fit on those. Same size. 1, 1.5, and 1/2. All right, so those are our guards. The next point I want to share with you all in reference to clippers and trimmers, but let me get back to the takeaway. Guards create consistency within the cut. They help to create consistency. So once again, think about guards as like placing a spacer in between the blade and the scalp of the hair. All right, so they're very much needed. You don't want to cut without them unless you know what you're doing. All right, because you can mess a head up if you don't have them guards on. All right, so point number 3 is understanding guard numbers. I kind of talked about this, but I'm going to share a little more in detail about guard numbers. Let's get that up. I think I got it. Yeah, okay. So for guard numbers, once again, with our guard numbers, the number simply represents the different hair lengths. Example, again, this is 0.5 or 1/2. 1/2 leaves less hair than a 1. This is a 1. This is Cocoa Premium Guards, okay? This is a half and a 1 for wall. This is a half and a 1 for Andes. And of course, the new Andes, the Zephyrs for our sensory safe community, there's more like premium guards, so they don't have the magnets on the back. And this is a half, this is a 1. And a 1 leaves less hair, I'm sorry, a half leaves less hair than a 1, okay? And then again, we have the half and the 1 in the trimmer guards as well. I already showed y'all those. So another example, you got a 1 and a 2. I picked up the 1.5, but this is in between the 1 and the 2. Okay, so you can see the difference in the size. So a 1 will leave less hair than a 2. Remember, the bigger you get, the more hair is left behind. Let me show you that on this one. So here's a 1 and a 2. Magnetic. What I like to say, premium or clip. Okay, some of them look like this, like your walls. And I'm putting it to the side so y'all can see. This is actually a 3, the red one, and this is a 2, the blue one. Okay. But these are clip. See the difference? Magnetic. You see the magnet in there that holds the clipper on. It still snaps at the base, but the clipper gives, I'm sorry, the magnet gives it a little more staying power. Because we have had them come off. I've seen it. No kidding, y'all. No kidding. I've seen it. So, and then the 2 and the 3. See the difference? 2, 3. This leaves more hair than this. This is your wall 2 and 3. Clip. Magnet. Same impact. I just like to use the magnet because I know it's staying. I know it's not going anywhere unless I take it off. These snap on and they stay. Let me see if this work on here. Nope, because they're made for this one. So that lets you know, even within the same brand, the guards don't necessarily fit all clippers or is universal across the board. You saw that, right? I tried to stick these on. You see they don't fit. It doesn't hug all the way around the bottom. See that? It's actually sitting on top. Uh-oh. Whereas this here fits. It's secure. All right. So that's the basic fundamentals of your guards. The bigger the guard, the more hair is left behind. The smaller the guard, the less hair is left behind. And barbers use these to fade, achieve the haircut that they're looking for. And once again, trimmers don't have levers. However, some trimmers have guards, and they usually go from a half, a 1.5, or a 1. And in Andy's case, they even have an 1/8. Okay. So that's point number 3, understanding number guards. Point number 4 is why barbers keep changing guards. I kind of talked about that, but visuals are better so that you can see why they keep changing guards. Hold on, let's get this image up so you can have a visual and it makes sense. Why barbers keep changing guards? Many people think barbers are just grabbing random guards. They're not. Each guard creates a different step in the haircut. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember I shared with you all in the franchise that I work for, Great Clips, those clients, oftentimes they came in, we kept clip notes, so we know what they wanted unless they wanted to change the haircut. They'll normally say, I wanted 2, 3 on the sides and back, shears on the top, depending for us. I do talk to my clients with texture hair about the number so that they're familiar with what's being taken off or what's being left behind, and they understand how the end result will look, especially my children. I mentioned that in the beginning because it's my way of teaching them about the process of cutting, also so they'll know and understand the end result of their haircut. All right. But in that, barbers use different guards because they take care or they create different steps within the cut. So each guard creates a different step in the haircut. And as you can see on the image there, depending on if they're bald, if they want a bald fade, or if they want a light fade. Oftentimes with the bald fade, here again, remember I told y'all in one of the previous episodes, I was watching the other barbers and I used to use my trimmers to do the bald line, and then I didn't know how to get it out. So I started using my clippers, closing them up and putting in a less harsh line until I learned how to not have so much pressure on my trimmers. But I still like to close my clippers, create my bald line, and then come back with my trimmers. And if they want it bald, skin, I'll come in with my 4 shavers. And I usually use my single blade around, tight areas. You can use a double blade and do the same thing, but I personally feel like I have a little bit more flexibility when I use the single 4 shaver versus the double. And this will get your ball clean as a razor. And the best thing to do with this when you're balling that person, for you beginners, is to stretch that skin. And another thing, you don't have to go in and rub and scrub. I always tell my clients, the tools, the implements are going to do the job. I don't have to go in and scrub and rub real hard and go in all kind of directions, because what that does, especially for textured hair, it cuts it really close. So when the hair grows out, begin to grow out, it can potentially cause ingrown hairs. and irritate the skin because it's such a close shave. So if they're looking for super clean, bald, baby skin, I put this on them. If they want razor, I use a razor. But oftentimes, I can get away with the shavers on them. So that's why I brought these out. So once again, barbers keep changing guards because it helps to create the haircut, and different guards do different things, and they create different steps within the haircut. Let's see, we got some questions here, or comments. Wike says, this is off topic, but if a person has a razor or scalp irritation from using the one that gives a close shave, what would you recommend? That's part of the consultation, especially if my clients want bald or a bald fade of any sort, whether it's drop, it's mid, it's high and tight. If they want a bald fade, I ask them, especially if it's a new client, do you want it bald with trimmers? Do you want me to use a razor? Or do you want me to use the shaver? So I'm asking them, especially if it's my first time servicing them, because I want to know the impact of either one of my tools on their hair. And if they've had problems with the shavers or the trimmers before, I won't use it. I won't use it at all. So what I do in that case, close my clippers and get them as clean as I can. And the other thing I do, if I'm solely using my clippers closed, I also stretch that skin, because in stretching that skin, it makes the hairs sit up. And I can go in, even if I'm using just the first couple of teeth, and kind of clean it up. And once again, you don't have to scrub and rub on the head, because that can, like I say, can cause irritation. I merely stretch the skin and go in and clean up. Clean up. If they tell me that they have skin irritations with either one, I don't use them. Hopefully that answered the question there. I do not use them. I will not use them on them. And I tell y'all this, most textured hair men tend to have a lot of challenges around the nape of the head when you're utilizing those methods, and under here. Oftentimes I won't use a razor down here from here on down unless they specifically request it. I'll use these here and I'll stretch the skin. I'll first come in with my trimmers, clean it up, and then I'll come back with my 4 shavers. If they want razor, I use my razor. But yes, oh wow, just you just answered my question above. No problem. No problem. So hopefully that explains it. Shavers are like having a razor without the razor. All right. I use all of these tools. But once again, point number 4, why barbers keep changing guards. Like I said, many people think barbers are just grabbing random guards. They're not. Each guard creates a different step in the haircut. Changing guards allows the barber to blend smoothly, remove harsh lines, control the fade, and keep the haircut balanced. So these different guards is about creating the fade, helping the cut to look balanced. So between using the different guards with our clippers, opening and closing the lever, That's how we're controlling the fade, removing the lines, and blending the haircut as smoothly as I can. Or we can. I can. We can. So without changing guards, the haircut would have noticeable lines instead of a smooth transition. So if we didn't change the guards, you will see noticeable lines in the haircut. If you look at the image there that I have, is probably the bottom. Let me see, my left. So it may be your right. So the bottom right for you all. You'll see harsh lines, or you'll see lines in the cut if we did not use the guards. That's not to say people can't fade without them, you know, but we use the guards to help with the transition, to help to control the fade and remove the lines and blend. It's all part of creating that haircut for the individual. So 0.5, and then we're going to prepare to close it out. This is about how great cuts come from technique, not just tools. So you got the tools, but you got to have the technique along with the tools in order to get that great cut. Hold on, y'all. Let's get this together. Did I get it right? No, I'll bring those points up later. All right. So let me get my notes here. It's quite a bit of information, but I'm trying to keep it as, you know, simple as possible so that you all actually get a gist of what we do, how we do it, and for the parents who are cutting, prayerfully this has cleared up some of the mystification around cutting hair. It's difficult when you're first starting out, but once you understand your tools and what they do and don't do, then things become easier. It becomes a whole lot easier. So great haircuts come from technique, not just tools. Buying expensive clippers won't automatically make someone a great barber. I don't care if you got the latest trimmers, clippers, whatever. It's not going to automatically make you a great barber. You got to know how to use your tools. Skills come from patience. It comes from practice. It comes from understanding your tools and learning proper techniques. I won't get into the different types of fading, but we've talked about that before in previous episodes. You can fade from the top down, bottom up. You can fade in sections. Okay? I say fade based on what you've mastered, how you were taught. And if you're in school and you're learning a technique, master that technique before you decide to implement something else, because you want to get the foundation and the fundamentals down packed first. Having the foundation and the fundamentals helps to build your confidence and your competency in your system. Once you got that, you can fade crisscross. No, I'm just messing with y'all. You can fade top down, bottom up, sections, whatever. You got your system down packed. You know your system like the back of your hand. You good. And then you go in and make your adjustments. But like I said, great haircuts come from techniques, not just tools. Because you got the latest and the greatest doesn't mean that you're going to produce an exceptional haircut. Skills come from, once again, practice. You got to put in the reps. You got to put in the time in order to get better. Patience. You got to be patient with yourself. And I want to say this to new barbers. You cannot compare yourself to the next person or the other barber across on the other side of the barber shop. You don't know what time they put in, how long they've worked at this or not. and what they've done to achieve the level of where they are. You can't compare yourself. As a matter of fact, don't do it, because you'll do yourself a disservice by comparing yourself to somebody else. Be patient, work your system, and practice. Understand your tools, what it can and cannot do, and learn proper technique. Professional barbers spend hundreds of hours, thousands of hours learning how to use their tools correctly. That's the game changer. Learning how to use your tools correctly. Knowing when to use your tools, how to use them, when to use them. That's all important. The tool help, the barber creates the results. So $1,000 pair of clippers will not get you a great cut if you don't have the techniques and you don't know how your tools, you don't understand your tools. All right. So my newbies out there, practice, be patient with yourself, understand your tools, learn proper technique. If you're learning the proper technique, master that technique before you try to get out there and do all manners of things, okay? Get it down. If you don't, it's going to cost you. You're going to be giving away a lot of free cuts. I'm going to just say that. You're going to be giving away a lot of free cuts if you don't understand your tools and learn the proper techniques. We got some comments. Sandra says, so it seems that having the right technique is key. Having the right technique is key. If you got the right technique, you can cut with any clipper and achieve the end results. This is a Coco. This is a Master. This is yet another clipper. This is yet another clipper. As a matter of fact, this is a detachable clipper. And I'm going to tell you, if an individual is using these and they haven't gotten the technique down and they don't understand what this tool does, they're going to mess up. Because you clicking, ain't no lever to adjust. You got blades with different numbers on them. And you got to know how to work this, understand your techniques to be able to get those lines out, blend, and control the fade. If your system ain't down, your technique, you're not going to achieve the end result. And like I say, you're going to end up giving away some free cuts. Let's see. WK says, that's right, Sandra. The right technique will always make the difference. It does. It really, really does. And having the right techniques, understanding your tools, learning the proper techniques, that's going to build your confidence, and you're going to feel more competent in your system, your process, and achieving the end result for that client. So get the technique down. Get the technique, learn your tools. So with that being said, I have all these tools, and having a technique and a system down, I can use any of these to include my detachables to achieve the result that I need for a haircut. Whether it be a drop fade, high fade, taper, shape up. Oh, let me get my trimmers in here. It don't matter. Remember I showed y'all I had a couple different trimmers here? Technique is what's going to help me achieve the shape up. Whether I'm using the elementary, the baby, the middle schooler, or the high school adult learning, college, I'm still going to get the same result because of my technique, and I understand my tools. I just use them for different things. My babies who aren't quite at this stage yet, These might be too sharp for their little delicate skin. Okay? I'm creating trust. I don't want to create a scenario where when mom and dad say, we're going to see Yah-Tay, they get scared and don't want to come. I want them to be excited, happy, joyful when they come to see me. So the last section is real talk, and I just want to share some things with you in relation to that. So real talk. One of the biggest mistakes beginner barbers make is thinking they need every clipper on the market. Yeah, it looks like I got a lot of clippers, y'all, but I've invested in this over time. And how I end up getting more Andys, because I actually donated my first set of clippers, 2 clippers and 2 trimmers. So I had the Andys Masters and then a Masters with a fade blade on it, which is like straight. And then 2 trimmers. I donated them to one of my clients who desired to get into barbering. So I donated everything he needed, similar to what I got. I showed y'all that, similar to what I got in terms of clippers, trimmers, neck duster, shears. I gave him the basics to get started, and I even donated a chair as well to him, an old styling chair, because I upgraded to an actual barber chair. But nonetheless, I ended up reinvesting into my tools. And like I said, with the Cocos, having followed the gentleman, what is his name? Morano Hodge. He invented the digital gap trimmers and clippers here, as you can see. I wanted to have a pair because I wanted to see, what it was like. So this has been an investment that I've had for a couple years. But nonetheless, that has been my plight with my tools. But once again, our biggest mistake beginners make is thinking that they need every clipper on the market. A new clipper come out, they're going to grab them. You don't. The key is learn one clipper. I learned on the Andys. Honestly, that's all I really use. But like I say, I did invest in these new ones because they're not as loud. They're not as loud compared to these. Yeah, these are still loud. And my question is, if Andys can make these quieter, why can't they make their Masters quieter? And then Coco. Yeah. And then another thing with this, oh, I forgot my little cordless NVLI. I use these too. I use these mainly when I was in the franchise at Great Clips. What else I want to share? Oh, let me put that back up. Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. So once again, real talk. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is thinking they need every clipper on the market. You don't. Master one. They all work the same. They may do a little something different here or there. The biggest difference is between your clippers and your trimmers, and then your detachables and your clippers. That's the biggest difference. Yeah, there's some small other details. I don't get into all of that like the guys do. Long as they do the job that I need them to do, that's all I'm worried about, okay? Learn one clipper, learn what each guard does, master the basics first. Master the basics, master the fundamentals. And again, you have your clip-ons, you got your premium guards, Most of your premium guards, you'll see like a little metal clip on them, but they all work the same. Then you have your magnets. Magnets are mostly Andes that I've seen. I'm not saying that's the whole truth and the only truth, but I've only seen magnets with Andes. Okay. I still have mine. I still use them. And then, of course, another type of premium guard. And these go with the new Zephyrs that I have for my sensory sensitivity children and adults. All right. And some of our trimmers have guards as well. I showed them to you all. That's the Andes. This one for the Slimline Pro. And this is one for the Coco. Okay. All right. Putting it on the docking station here. So learn your clipper first. Learn one clipper because they're pretty much fundamentally the same. Learn one clipper. Learn what each guard does. Master the basics first. Understand your fundamentals. Everything else will become much easier. Once you get the fundamentals down, everything else will become much easier. But you got to get that down. Understand your tools, learn the proper techniques. Buying all the different clippers is not going to help you produce a great cut if you don't understand the fundamentals. All right. That's all I have for this segment. I think I've showed y'all everything. Oh, one more thing here. Actually, two more things. I'm going to show y'all some other tools of the trade that I use. This is my blower. It's called a Barber Pro. And you can blow hair out of the clippers. And it has three levels on it. So you basically hold it for a few seconds. It cut off and on. And I also have a handheld massager. I had one, but I felt like I was cheating my clients, y'all, when you do the massage either on the shoulders. I normally do the shoulders up around the neck. I get on the top of the arm. I usually come down the back. So when they're sitting in the chair, I do the neck, right up under the neck, especially when they have a hot towel on. I'm taking this around. I'm going to turn it on because they really loud. I'm going to turn it on. I go around the face and then on the arms. I come down. I come on the side, and just kind of down the arm to relax them and across the top of the shoulders. But like I said, I had one, and y'all can tell this is the old one. Can you see that? The name is rubbed out. This is the newer one. I actually bought this from a barber friend of mine, Gina the Barber. She was getting rid of it. It was gently used at the time, so I bought it off her, and then I got another one. And like I said, I felt like I was cheating my clients because I can only do one side at a time when you got one. Now I have two. Hold on, y'all. I'll turn it on a little bit. So, and it basically I just go down. And I use it on me too for my legs, neck, shoulder. So when I'm massaging them, I get in the back here. And I like to get right up under that occipital bone. And then when they have the hot towel on, the temple area across the front. Oh, this feels so good, y'all. I know y'all wish y'all could feel it. Yeah. But this is another treat that I give to my clients. Let me turn it off. So this is another tool that I use. And of course, you got to keep them charged up. So I ensure that they're charged as well. So once again, in closing with this real talk, learn one clipper, learn what each guard does, master the basics first. Once you understand the fundamentals, everything else becomes much easier. I'm telling you, everything else becomes much easier. So that's all we have. Just a quick recap, and I'm gonna close this on out. If you're just tuning in, I was talking understanding clippers and guards, the basic every beginner and client should know. Hey, thank you. I got it done for you, LaDosha. I figured I'd hop on and take care of it. Oh, I missed a question. Wike says, Yah-Tay, do you let the children hold the clippers and get familiar with them? Sorry if you already answered this question. Actually, I do. It's a guided thing, but I do allow my kids to hold the clippers because I want them to become familiar with them. I don't want them to be afraid of them. I allow them to turn them on and off with guidance. With guidance. I do that because I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to know what's going on. And even in the process of the cut, if they have questions, I'm always answering their questions. Yes, so to answer that question, yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's part of them becoming familiar with their service, how I utilize the tools. And I have some teams that I got to tell y'all this. So it's an episode, I think it was episode 11. One of my kids was trying to shape himself up and cut his hair. We brought him on. He talks about that. I want to say it's episode 11. But to talk about that, I do share with them, especially my teens who are in high school and they want to keep up their shape up in between cuts. I show them because I want them to know. But that's just me. That's the teacher in me. That's the teacher in me. Let's see who else is on. What up? Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully this information has been valuable. It's as detailed as I'm willing to get so that my clients, customers, and other consumers can get the gist of what these guards mean, what they do, how they function, how they operate, the difference between a clipper and a trimmer, and why barbers and barber stylists switch between so many of them and even switch between the implements that they use. They are all used to help create, refine, remove bulk, create the fade, detail the haircut out. These are all inclusive of getting that done. And like I said, even with the shavers, if I got a client that can't take a razor, but they want it skin, they want it ball, I use a shaver. Depending on where I'm at on the head, I may use the single one or the double one. Okay. If my client cannot take the shaver or a razor, then I use my trimmers. If the trimmers irritate them and they can't do either of those, then the next step is to close up my clippers. Because a closed clipper can get you bald. It might not get you completely bald, but it'll get you bald. Okay? Open, close. So once again, if my client can't take the trimmers, can't take the shavers, can't take the razor, then as close clipper it is to achieve that bald look. And oftentimes with my children who want bald, and because their skin sensitivity is different from an adult, I also use this method too. Unless they're like a teenager or a high schooler, then we go the next step up for them. But yeah, so in closing, now you know why barbers use different clippers and guards throughout the haircut. It's to sculpt it, blend it, shape it, you know, get those steps and those fades taken care of. Hopefully the next time you're in the chair or you're practicing at home, you'll feel better understanding what happens and why. Hopefully I've been able to demystify these guards, these clippers, and even the detachables, because some barbers use detachables as well. I do. So if this episode has helped simplify barbering for you, share it with someone who's learning to cut hair, or someone who's always wondered why them barbers use so many guards, how fades are created. I'm just being funny there, y'all. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, think like a barber. I'm Yah-Tay, and I'll see you all on the next episode. This has been the Think Like a Barber series. I want to give a shout out once again to LaDosha. Thank you for asking about this. I talked about it somewhat in a previous episode, but this one allowed me to solely focus on clippers and guards and kind of demystify why barbers switch between so many and use all these different tools. So hopefully those of you who are watching, whether you're a barber, a beginner, or a client, or a parent, this has helped you to understand it. Now, like I said, I didn't get into all the details, just enough to give you an overall foundation of why guards are used, why they switch up between so many, and even what's the difference between a clipper and a trimmer, okay? And what they do and what they're used for, all right? Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly, greatly appreciate y'all's time. And once again, like I said, if this episode helped to simplify barbering for you, excuse me, y'all, I need some water. If this has helped to demystify it, simplify it, please share it with someone who's learning how to cut, someone who's always wondered how fades are created. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Brandy and I will be back first Sunday. Regina and I will be on Friday. Let me see if I can find that topic. So just to give y'all a little heads up on this particular topic, we will be talking about hold on, let me make sure I got it. For episode 3, we're going to be talking about dating and the hair industry. Is there room for love? All right. Tune in Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this episode. We're going to be talking about dating in the industry. And if you're in the industry, whether you barber, stylist, anybody in the profession, is there room for love? So we're going to talk about that. Y'all going to hear it from me. You're going to hear her take on it. But nonetheless, tune in for that. And I know, right? LaDosha says, ooh, yeah, she has some stories. I don't have many. I talk about my side of it Friday night. So y'all tune in for that. But nonetheless, thank you all for tuning in. LaDosha, once again, I appreciate the idea to come on and do this. That was great, because I know some parents and those who do home cutting out there can get some of these. Hopefully it's been simplified for them and they can get some tips from this. But thank you all. I appreciate you. I see you again every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Let's put that up real quick. Oh, Lordy, y'all. Hold on. I'm getting out of here. Y'all just hold on with me. So every Sunday, Female Barber Talk, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's starting January 19th. That's how long I've been on. So it's a little over a year. We had a year and a half, y'all. This is the 83rd episode. I want to say thank you to all my guests who've been on. I'm looking to get more on. So y'all stay tuned. Fade and Flow Show, first Sundays. Salon and Barber Industry Talk, the last Friday of the month. And I'm working on some other stuff too. I'm going to see if I can get my mentor back on again. Mr. Ronnie been dropping some knowledge. So I'm going to see if I can get him to come on maybe once a month. I might be stretching it, maybe once a quarter, every 2 months or something. I'm going to reach out to him and see what we can get. But nonetheless, enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But more importantly, share this with someone who's learning to cut or someone who's always wondered how they get them fades with all them different guards. Using all them different guards. They got all that stuff. All that stuff. I got to show y'all once again. They got all this stuff. That's my setup now. Keep it all charged up. Keep my station free and clear. I'm going to talk about that too. That's in another episode about the cleanliness of the station. Anywho, let's get out of here. Good night. Have a good one. WeK says, Yah-Tay, you're wonderful. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, don't forget to tune in Friday, y'all, because I'm going to share with y'all. Yeah, just tune in. Tune in. See y'all later. Naturals.